Thank you very much. It is nice to see that much interest about our future cooperation. First, of course, I need to acknowledge our partners with whom we, at least we, Ukraine, cooperate for the first time. I represent the NGO Permaculture in Ukraine, the organization which was founded in 2013. But we actually started our activity in 2011 when we organized the first permaculture design course. Since then, we organized 5 more PDCs and 1 teacher training, 1 advanced course, and 2 permaculture convergences. The other partner is Permakultura Czechia. Maybe you can say a couple of words.
So we started 20 years ago together with Slovakia, but now they have separate national organization. We are doing courses, also international courses. We are doing we publish books, booklets, and we are doing conferences yearly. And then we have a demonstration sites network. So it's main things that we do.
Mm-hmm. So Joseph is not here who represents Slovakia, but I've already told. Then our Polish partner is Deep Democracy Foundation. You heard Robert's presentation yesterday, which is kind of social aspect of permaculture. And Hungarian partner who is kindly hosting us here, it's Ecological Institute of Sustainable Development, and Ivan Gulai, if I can say his second name correctly. Basically, I don't know if is it like for the first time this kind of permaculture cooperation happens in the framework of the whole Visegrad country. Yes. Yeah. So we are really proud of that, and thank you for supporting. And especially, I need to thank the partners and the European Union for letting Ukraine join this amazing cooperation. After we organize this conference and farm visits, I think that we shall continue our cooperation, and we can just discuss what are the possible directions. So my suggestion is that first we list the directions, and then if we like, we can maybe divide, so it's not that much of us, maybe we can divide into 2 groups and discuss about like different kind of directions, and then make some conclusions. Okay, and Eva, if you could just write down what we are discussing. First, what I have in my notes, it's an educational courses, because of course, like the courses like PDC, each of us organizes independently, and maybe just in case if it is PDC in English, you need more participants from other countries. From Ukraine, regarding PDCs, I would say that maybe we need an apprentice teachers if someone would like to come to Ukraine and teach, because this is quite interesting experience if you teach in the foreign language environment. And many permaculture trainers, when you become really like super professional, you travel in different countries and teach, and this gives you a good experience. Maybe Eva, you can add if it's relevant for Czechia.
Like we are sending apprentices, or we are sending?
Yeah, or as hosting or sending apprentices. So is it relevant in case of Czech Republic?
Yes, I think we can host Ukrainian apprentices, but we are still establishing our Academy of Permaculture, and the coordinator is Katka Horáčka. I think you know her from Slovakia and she and Denisa are still deciding about the system of work with apprentices. But in principle, we are open to it, and we also can send an English-speaking teacher. But just English speaking, because Russian is not.
Can I be one of the speakers?
Apprentice.
Okay.
Thank you. I was
yes.
pleasure.
Okay, this is great. So the second direction in the education is kind of advanced courses. Okay, just to finish with PDCs. So how many PDCs do you organize like annually in Czechia?
We organize mostly Czech
Okay.
and 0 or 1 international. I think that once for 2 years we organize.
Yeah, so that is great because in Ukraine we so far we managed to organize only 1 course per year. Yeah, so definitely there is a room. Okay, so please, new people, please come. Here is 1 more chair and there is another chair. Bruno, if you will say something, we will not hear you then. Okay, just feel free. Okay. He wants to stand. Okay. Sure, sorry?
Why do you organize this and small conference? Because it seems for me it's more important.
Yeah, but
for everybody.
it's because I would like to have a discussion because I don't want just that I talk. I just want to hear you, and in the big room, I think it would be impossible. I think that's a good setting, and so far I see that the number of people who came is just enough to fit in this room. So the second direction in the education, I see the advanced courses, which we organize maybe not that often, not every year. Like at least I know from Czechia that you organize the forest gardening course, you organize sociocracy courses. Last year we organized the course Permaculture Design Livelihood course, so it's kind of advanced course and also with the business aspects, which was in English, and we would welcome foreign participants. So I think that this might be a direction. Advanced courses which are in English, so we can cooperate in this.
So we had this teacher's course with George Sobol. I really feel no George Sobol,
yeah.
so we can invite him.
Yeah. And actually, I also had this in mind that it's kind of, I would even say that it's like a separate direction, these teachers courses which are needed. And of course, we organized the teacher course in 2013. I think that we don't, by now we have not enough people to organize the new course, but of course we could send it to Czechia. If it's in English and if they speak English, the participants.
How does it look, teachers courses?
Teachers training course?
Yes.
It's 1 week. I can talk
Yeah,
experience
yeah.
with George Sobol. It's 1 week long, and you are learning abilities to teach very creatively, because permaculture is supposed not to be taught like lecturer and students, but everybody participates like this.
Okay, and maybe another direction also in the education, it's kind of new directions. If there are any, I don't know, what can we call like a new direction, maybe something like dragon dreaming courses or something like this, which just appears recently, and of course it's hard to organize for one organization independently, but together we are able to do this. So that's it what I have for education. If you want to add something, let's just add.
I should like to add translation and books. Maybe it will be educational.
It's connected.
Yeah, but in which language then it's the question, because we are translating into Ukrainian, and I think that Czechs are not interested in the Ukrainian books.
There is a problem that our market is relatively small. Our market is maybe bigger, but I don't know how many.
But okay, that's yeah, the book which
maybe we will translate your book.
Yeah, it's like this. Yeah, that's good.
Separate.
Okay, maybe yeah, we can list this. Yeah.
It will be easier to have your book in Ukrainian and to give our people your book in Ukrainian, because Ukrainians don't understand Czech.
Of course.
Mm.
Yes, most
Just
and we will have
There might be some questions
the
from
audience.
Okay, so if there will be any questions, so just from time to time, if you could switch like between this and check if there are any questions. Just add that, okay?
we also theoretically we are also interested in translating interesting books from Ukrainian, but we need somebody who would read them.
So at least we have this like a booklet about this Ploskores flat butter, how to say. It's like really thin, but it's easy to translate. So
Yes, so it's of course it's possible to translate practical short texts.
yeah, so that is definitely a good direction. Okay, anything else for education? Then maybe we can list the second direction, which we started to discuss yesterday. It's a network of permaculture sites. So just briefly what we discussed is that we could share like the information about the farms in our countries, which could host visitors and arrange like the tours in English. Also, we could share the information about different activities like workshops and courses which are organized in different centers. Maybe we could give space for this network at our gatherings that like at, for example, at Ukrainian Permaculture Convergence, there will be a space about this topic, and people could just come from other countries and join this discussion. And also we listed like that we might need some kind of information resource, kind of newsletter or Facebook or something like this, where people could just share the information freely. So it's just it needs some small moderation, and this is probably the easiest way to share the information. That's it. If some of you, those of you who haven't been yesterday in this discussion, maybe if you have some ideas about how our networks of permaculture sites can cooperate, maybe you can also add it here. Maybe having a more in-depth discussion about this when we divide into groups. Okay, then so what I already told about these sites, that information exchange, just it could be in different forms, like I mean just in general the information about what each of the networks is doing, because so far I can keep some information from Facebook. If I see some news from Czech Facebook in English, I share it, or there is like Google group, European Permaculture Networks. If something is posted there, so I of course there is our network. Also there is an bulletin, I think that 4 times a year, the bulletin from the European Permaculture Network, where each of us post our news. So like first of all, we could just encourage each of the organization to really pay attention and post the news that other people will be aware about them. Second, we discussed this yesterday, so maybe we just create some kind of Facebook group for coordinators, where you just repost this news, and it will be easier, let's say for me or for administrator of Ukrainian Facebook to check this news and repost, maybe translate something and repost to Ukraine. Maybe there is a need to have a bulletin to compose the information, let's say every month, so something like this. So we can discuss about this. So that's it, what I can imagine about info exchange, if you want to add something.
Would you like, and did you think about the kind of exchange of volunteers? Because it might be attractive.
Yeah. I actually have it as a separate direction, so this is just like an information. So we will come to that a bit later. Okay, so if that's it for information, then I have another direction, another possible direction for our cooperation. It is the seed banks, which is now getting popular because each of us want to save these old and traditional local varieties, and maybe there is a room for. So what we can do, we can think how to, like physically, how is it possible to exchange seeds. So like within Europe, it's pretty easy. You just conduct this payment if there is any payment and send by post. And for Ukraine, it is a bit more complicated, but I think that still you can send some small seeds in the envelope. At least I had this experience. I send a lot of seeds. Actually, frankly speaking, including GMO seeds when I work at in science, just in the envelope without any problems. So I think that this is possible. What is important if you would like to have that kind of collaboration, that this information, at least, or the most important, in Latin, I guess. That of course, like all the rest of information can be in different languages, but if you have the Latin names, I guess that this is the minimum enough information. So if each of organization collect and provide this information, then we can do this. Then the next direction which I see, it's of course funding for some of our activities. So basically, like funding implies in all of this, but we can also list it as separate things. Yeah, please, you can see it closer.
Funding.
Oh, sorry, this is closed. Yeah, you can open it if you like.
There are flowers. It's necessary to open this one because there
will be enough. Yes, I just forgot. Okay, so now we do more fresh air. So the situation is so that we Ukrainians don't have that much sources of funding, but there are several programs where we could cooperate, and like Visegrad Fund, so in the kind of statute or directions, they have this cooperation with Eastern country and specifically with Ukraine. So this is very good source, and I think that we shall explore it further. Erasmus, which is pretty easy in Europe. For Ukraine,
Erasmus can be viable for institutions. For example, Oulu National University. And Oulu National University cooperates with Erasmus. And we have many Erasmus programs. And we have in Oulu National University meetings about doing projects in cooperation with other countries. And in Oulu National University, our department of fruit, vegetable, and grape growing, we have now new territory, new land, and this land is 3 hectares, and we need to find some funds to use the land hasn't been in work for 20 years, and it's very nice place. I have been there, and I can say that it's very nice place for permaculture design, because it is the southern oriented hill, and there are beautiful places in the border of this territory, and there are some buildings which we can use, and we have possibility to use our students and to use our knowledge.
So we suggest that we use Erasmus for developing the permaculture site in
Yes, and it can be the permaculture site like this, because we can show how to grow forest garden, and we can have some volunteers to go to us, and you can teach. We can organize lecture rooms, and we can do a lecture in English also, because not only me are doing lecture in English. There are my few colleagues that and they speak English much more well than I am, and they have participants in many conferences, and we can.
So just maybe to sum up this, that I would say we can collaborate in developing of the university courses about permaculture. So now there is a demand from several universities in Ukraine. I was actually invited to develop the course for one university, but I am so extra busy that I don't know if I managed to. Maybe this we can go just to education.
It's not under Erasmus.
No. It's just because Luba already started to talk, and so I just think that we can.
University courses. It means that they should be like accredited for university.
Yes.
But we need financial support, because the buildings are requiring for repairing works, and we need some money to grow this garden.
Sure.
And maintain this garden.
And about university courses, do you have any permaculture associated or permaculture related courses in your countries?
Poland? For sure are the universities. So I don't know if Robert has no.
No, there is no.
There is sometimes a teacher invited just to run his own course, but it doesn't once in 2 years.
It's not common saying permaculture is not usually taught in universities. We try to do it.
In universities, it's called organic farm.
It's different, or agroecology or urban ecology.
Yes. We have one person.
Agroecology also the subject has been for many years. Next year I will have a course of organic agriculture.
Yeah, so if we should make this at least courses on organic agriculture or permaculture, maybe. So like my demand is I need some help with curricula. If there are existing curricula, it would facilitate my life a lot. And I think that you turned it on.
About permaculture, it is done by
just press power 2 times, 1 and then 2nd time power.
So now curriculums of PDCs on the website of British.
Yeah. The PDCs, yes.
And if you read Polish, we have also a book about permaculture. It is written by a pair, and that knows. Then they have also a permaculture farm in the east of Poland. Except on this, Ben or married.
I think they don't have it anymore. The place doesn't exist.
No to Dubek i ta Monika, nie? No to wszystko autor book about permaculture and farms. So there are some initiatives, but it's not
Can we
very.
buy this book or have electronic copy of the book?
It's perhaps it will be good for translating because
Yes.
it's Poland.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
That's a good idea.
English book about permaculture.
The thing with the university courses that they first, of course, as I understand, that they rarely could cover the content of PDC, because if it's like agriculture university, you teach agriculture. And the second thing that they should be more advanced than PDC. So you really give a content relevant for the university students. So that's why this curriculum would differ from this curriculum of PDCs. And what is in Slovakia?
I have no idea.
It's nothing. But yes, Patricia now reached the accreditation, so she now is founding a new school specialized in permaculture, but I don't think it's a university. It's
Last year I had the question from Warsaw University at the department of it's a kind of how it's called artes liberales. It's a kind of department which try to connect the sciences with humanistic approach. So I was trying to prepare the curriculum for one course, and I'm doing now this. Doing these courses, winter courses in cities. So for now,
That's
so for now I have 14 hours course for the university prepared, but I lost the contact with the dean, and so maybe it will be next year, but I'm not sure. And they asked me from another school, but it was private high school, as university, private designs art school from Poznan, and they were interested in permaculture design too, in sense that they in ethics more than in agriculture, of course, but ethic design. So we were talking about this last year, and growing interest in Poland in universities and high schools about permaculture. But for now, there is no course.
It's really great to involve also the universities, agriculture high schools in Poland.
This is very difficult. This is
because I know it is difficult, but I know
and
the
impossible,
agriculture university in Krakow. Yeah, I did there 4 years ago. I did there 1 year long. So I was a student, post-diploma student, and the course they developed it was quite interesting and innovative. It was about about herbs using about using herbs for medicine purposes and about growing them. So it was already quite open. The mainstream is, of course, industrial farming, big areas and big machines, but there are people, and it would be good when you would, it seems to me that it makes sense to do something in connection with the universities, because these people need to have impulse to be.
and there is a big impact from the university.
It's not so easy.
Let me say not one sentence.
Just
I wanted to say that there are some programs, EU programs, which supports collaboration between universities and NGOs. And in such configuration, when universities with and together with NGOs are doing any international project, it has much more chance for support. Yes.
One sentence. I was in the University of Agriculture in Krakow, and they wasn't interested. On the department, ecology department, and they wasn't interested.
So
They said me that no.
So I have a contact with this professor who in herbal garden for teenagers. She, for sure, it is no big industrial or something, but it must be something feelings or something. This professor's name is I forgot just, but it is a woman who is collaborating in such innovative projects. So maybe and try once more.
There's a lobbying of chemical industry in agriculture universities, so it's very difficult to push the ecology and permaculture in the university because they are paid for not doing this.
Yeah, but
It's the same as in the medical schools. The same for alternative medicine.
Yes, you're right.
Okay, so this is very hot topic about, and I feel that most of us have some experience with the universities, but just to have some constructive output, no, just I just wanted to ask: are there any courses in English which you can call, say that they are permaculture connected with permaculture in any of our countries?
No, just we had one international conference on our agricultural university. It was possible to do one event like summer school, and it was in English. It was last year.
Is it when it is regular or just one
No,
time?
not regular.
Oh, this is so pretty, yeah. So this kind of summer
I
school.
think the university, each university have a program in which the subjects are shown, which must be learned by the students, and we can combine permaculture with, for example, organic farming, or, for example, with ecology courses, agroecology courses, and in this way we can doing permaculture courses in university now for this time. And I should like to say that in the university, maybe most people don't know what is permaculture. And it's new and
At least for Ukraine, as a head of organization, I'm not actively promoting this, but I have to say that many people just approach me and ask to develop some courses. So there is a request, at least in Ukraine, and the one course which is supposed to be developed for, it's called University of Ukraine, which is in Kyiv. They want to have it in English. So if this happens, there will be a course in English and you can come. But another direction in education which I just came to my mind is the diploma education. It's like upper level of education in permaculture is a diploma in applied permaculture, when you need to complete some applied projects with some supervision and present properly. So in Ukraine, this system does not exist yet. And in many countries, there is a request that each permaculture teacher should also complete or have this diploma of permaculture. So we don't have this so far, we just have PDC and teacher training. But if there is a possibility to do this with our neighboring countries, to do this diploma, it would be great. So maybe we could share how is it in.
Actually, yes, now I'm doing my PhD in the British system, and my tutor is George Sobol, of course. But the British people are using circles of peers which are on the diploma pathway, and it's so good to discuss things. And I can't discuss with anybody, so it would be really good.
Is there any diploma certification in Czechia?
It was 10 years ago. It was. We have about 15 people who have the diploma, but then it died, and now people don't test it because some people got it and they are not so good. so they don't trust it. That's why I decided for British one because it's more quality.
And what is the situation in Poland and Slovakia? No.
This kind of.
In Slovakia, Patricia has this kind of.
Yeah, Patricia
only
from
one.
Slovakia. Okay,
Yeah.
so that is the possibility, I guess, that first we can organize it, maybe one system together in English, maybe to find the best qualified peers on our countries and organize it like that. Okay, so just to finish with funding, so we listed Visegrad and Erasmus. Maybe we can list some other foundations which support this kind of cooperation within the Central Europe. Do you have something? Okay, so. And of course, the other possibility is crowdfunding. So we actually had an idea of running the crowdfunding also for this conference because the budget was tight. So if we could imagine of some project which has the value for each country, so maybe we can run this crowdfunding together.
There is European fundings. There are any European fundings for Ukraine now for collaboration Ukraine with other countries?
This Visegrad, then 2 years ago it was a grant from Slovak government, but I don't think that it was regular. It was intended for border cooperation. So there are a number of grants for like cross-border cooperation. So this we can use at least for developing of bioregions. Actually, that was one of idea of Bogdan, who came today, and you will hear his presentation later, to have like, to develop like network of Carpathian bioregion. And for that, maybe we can use this cross-border grants.
And another one, I got any information about fund about agency in here, which operates with money for European collaboration with EU countries in the area of culture and education.
I don't know this particular, but there are some which are specific for, so I would say there are like kind of this environmental education and there is a cultural exchange. So depending how we present our project, we can be either environmental or cultural, but we can look in both directions. And in Ukraine, so now the most stressing issue is the war, it's IDPs and this military personnel, and we have a number of organizations who are funding different activities. So of course it could be permaculture, why not? So we are also open for that. We applied several times, unfortunately not successful. But we had one idea to run like a short courses of kind of organic food growing or ecological food growing for the villages in this region, Donetsk and Lugansk region, because it's pretty industrial region, and when these coal mines are closed, people just don't have a job. And we had an idea to invite some international trainers there, so that could be like that
And
kind of small
this is a big problem with war in Ukraine, because many people from Donetsk and Lugansk cannot stay in these towns and come in western region of Ukraine and have no home. And natural building will be
that's another issue, very important actually.
For them. And our permaculture experience in this field can be useful for doing projects. And I remember that in our university, this is Horizont funding.
Oh yes,
Program
Horizont. Yes, yes. This from EU.
Yes,
Yeah.
in cooperation with Hungary, Poland, Slovakia, Czech, we can apply for these programs too.
And we can even extend it beyond this Ukrainian IDPs, because now in Europe there is a problem with Syrian refugees. So I know that it's not that big in Central Europe, because the policy is so that you don't accept them much. But still, it's possible to think about this kind of courses which need to find new jobs, and this job could be in organic sector. Why not?
We have about 2 million Ukrainian people in Poland, but they are most in the cities and they are migrating a lot. So permaculture is not content.
Okay, so then finally we come to this volunteering and internship opportunities.
It's great that they can
Not in accent, they are speaking Ukrainian very well. I was being in Poland, and the second people with which I have talked, they are Ukrainians.
So it is really black propaganda that the Poles are so close. We are young people, and a lot of millions. It's quite a lot. It's great that we have such
And
opportunities.
in Czech Republic,
This pressure from the
there are
West is
Ukrainians too.
Že se stroubat, že zajdou na milovark.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Actually, what I know that in organic farms throughout the Europe, they rely on the cheap working force, and quite often it's Ukrainians who work there. The same, like let's say for EU, of course, the level is different. So for them, like the cheap force comes from Central Europe, and now it's might be cut down.
Yeah, it's true also. The people from Ukraine are also in agriculture, in the season work. Sometimes they are really exploited, terrible. But of course, it is not legal. So if something like this, the people are punished. But on the other side, who are working illegal must go. So nobody wants to let this open. The people are exploited. Only one can hope that it is not very much such cases. But last year, for example, a young man lost a hand, and he was not. There was no. It was illegal. So only after a big action, because the neighbors, the people who knew about it, they made a big alarm, and any money were collected among people for the operation. Really. Dark numbers, so more dark numbers.
Yeah. So the legal way for people to work would be like volunteering, and at least I know that for Ukrainians, because they're a cheap workforce, many of them come to organic farms and they learn, and then they go back to Ukraine and they establish the same in Ukraine. Then we can offer this volunteering opportunities among our countries. Especially if they are in English, and I guess especially like in permaculture, because we started as let's say informal education. If you want to grow further as a permaculture designer or as a specialized farmer, you need to go to the farm and train. And I think that it would be very nice to develop kind of topical tours or opportunities. So, for example, if the person wants to know how to do greenhouse business or how to do dairy business, that they have a list of farms in the Central Europe who accept these people, and they could spend like 1 or 2 summers traveling around and learning these things. So I think that this is a great opportunity for cooperation. this is internship, and of course, like the normal volunteering, if there is some like one-time activity, like building some house or whatever. So I think that a lot of information, of course, you can find in WUF. I think that in all countries except Ukraine, WUF exists. Yeah, you already, I remember your comment about Polish WUF, which is not very active. So of course, that is another opportunity. So basically, if there is like some information about volunteering, which is available in English, so we could share somehow this information in the newsletters or in Facebook, which we discussed earlier. And basically, the last, do you need another paper?
Or can I add something about volunteers?
Yes, yes, yes.
Because this Oulu at first, something what we are talking about is great organization, but it is founded in the West countries, in England, and they have more just people, more resources, more content from the Western countries. In Poland, it works terrible, and I thought that it is just volunteer work, and you have so much resources concerning places where one can go as volunteer, and that it might be a kind of additional opportunity to people in this region, or also can be open for people from other countries. It can be also supported. I have experiences in voluntary programs, where we got support for organizations for spreading the information about such opportunities. So the organizations who participate, who are hosting organizations, take care and look at that everything is working well. This organization gets some not big money, but still it's sufficient for really being motivated to keep the work, because people coming for a longer time, especially for some weeks, they need just to have somebody not only in this place, but also somebody whom they can tell about their own experiences, their own problems with the place, for example, or who this host organization can make mediation if there are any difficulties, and so
yes, so that's an opportunity.
And once more, there was such exchange program for young people.
Oh yes, that's actually another direction for young environment, culture, and yes.
But there is also such opportunities of exchange of volunteers. It's also for adult people.
Adult and actually elderly people. This is very interesting direction. Yes, and very unexplored. So
I don't know if we have any constitution, but it is also interesting tasks for participating organizations to elaborate just rules, how not more than, let's say, 4 hours work by day, cultural programs, language program. So it is something that what can really also for us as EFTA, we could participate, of course, a foundation of Deep Democracy, where I am a member of the council, your first partner for the further projects, but we can also support it with our EFTA knowledge concerning fundings or organization of this program.
Great. So Ala, I would like to ask you to check if there are any questions from online. And Luba, I would like to ask you to take one paper because this is finished.
Yes, that's not enough.
Yes. So the next presentation, just need to check one thing. The next presentation starts at 11. Yeah, I will give them a contact. When we finish this one, I go there and give them contact. No, I will just go and help them to organize it. Yeah, great, thank you. So the last direction have in our list, but actually this is the first we started to collaborate, is organization of meetings, conferences, gatherings. And here we can think about, so this was the conference about farming, which was the stressing issue for Ukraine. So that's why I really wanted to organize this conference. So we can think if we want to organize the other conference about farming, permaculture farming, maybe next year. So do we want to have a series of such conferences?
Ivan, like very well site organized. Yeah.
All the time. But it was a proposal from Eva, actually, the original, that we organized the conference in Czechia. And so they try to do in Ukraine. I guess what we can also try to do here, that all the time we organize the activities in different places. Because of course here we have more Hungarians. If we organize it in Czechia, we will have more Czech people. So
Germans will come.
yes.
What about Poland?
In Poland,
Were you already in Poland?
maybe in 4 years in Ukraine. So this is definitely. Yeah, of course, we have to think about, of course, that we cannot apply, if we want some funding from the Visegrad Fund, we probably cannot apply with the same project, so we need to add something. In my opinion, the continuation might be this network of demonstration sites, if we give like a separate space, like this parallel work, so to make it more topical. And of course, like for this meeting, the time was not great because as you can see, we have not that much farmers. We have more people who are interested about farming, because for farmers, this is the season. So if this would be in autumn or in winter, we might have more farmers and more participants of this conference. So if you have an idea of any other topics or conferences except farming, which we can have this kind of international meetings, so we can also.
We are thinking about creating a project about this network, but we would like to use Erasmus, which is not good for Ukraine. But we can do it with British, Danish people. Now I see that maybe it's Polish, so it would be great. But I'm worried about Ukraine.
It was an interest from Sweden. When they realized that we have this accent of networks, so they told that yes, we are really interested and we would like to find some funding for that. So maybe with Sweden also, it's beyond the region.
The good thing is that the whole project was written by British people, and they gave us this, you have to write plenty of text of explanations, and we had it from British, so we can do it maybe next week.
Okay.
You know, if you are interested also in this so issues of the second day, social issues.
Social, yeah.
Because so in the middle of all this, we have in Poland a meeting of the alternative społeczności, alternative society groups, and about 200 people are announced. It is a first meeting already. They organize it once a year in different cities when the alternative groups are living in outside of the cities. So
is it in English?
No, it is Polish. Polish and basic.
Basically, we are very much interested in sociocracy. That's why we organized this course, which was not enough. It was just 2 days. We would like to continue.
Yeah, so basically, if there are any conferences which topic is connected in permaculture, if they are in English, so I think that we should definitely promote it in our networks, and this is very easy to do. So as other direction, which we also mentioned yesterday, is the convergences. Okay, first maybe let's check who is organizing the convergences. So Ukraine organized, and Czechia, you told yesterday that you organize conferences.
Yes, our convergences are very small. They are in summer, and it's not next weekend. It will be held. It will be for maybe 15 people, so it's not enough. But Slovaks have big festivals.
Yeah, Slovaks in November, yes, and in Poland.
In May, we have one.
In
May, and probably it will be next year, and in May the same.
Also at Manifest?
Podlodówek.
Yeah, so basically there is an opportunity at each of these convergences, and at least for Ukraine, I could say that we had 2 convergences, and at each of them we invite very much foreigners because it's cultural exchange, and people, Ukrainians always value when someone from abroad come and share experience, and we always organize translation, so we could organize usually we organize the whisper translation if there are a few people, so basically we translate all the content. And my small feedback, because I was last year at Slovak Convergence, I was invited to present, but everything was in Slovak. Of course, I could understand, but in the afternoon I had a terrible headache because it's so much concentration. So that's something to think. You invite foreigners to organize at least whisper translation, at least for some sessions.
Generally, this translation is quite expensive. We need funding for.
No, but in Ukraine, it's just like I sit close to you, and we have a volunteers. Problems with volunteers, especially for translations.
We do.
In Uzhgorod, there are many translations.
Wonderful.
Because in university there are courses for Slovak and Czech and Magyar,
Who organized
French.
translation here on this technical side? Is it Ukrainian side or Czech side?
You mean at the conference?
Yeah, here.
But we don't translate. So we will translate the recorded materials.
No, this translation is.
You mean on the excursions?
Excursions.
This, well, Pavlo told me what to rent. I rented it, but I don't understand at all the technology.
Yeah, but so far we discovered that this is quite simple and quite convenient, and this is not very expensive. So it's quite easy to include this to the registration fee and have more professional translations than the whisper translation. So no problem at all about that. So for those who haven't been yesterday in this discussion about networks, so I repeat my invitation for Ukrainian Convergence. So we will have it at the end of January. If there will be an interest from the Western Europe sector, we will organize it in close to the border in Lviv or in Uzhgorod. And we expect about 150 people. So it is growing, and it is growing exponentially, I have to say. So we definitely provide translation, and we would offer a room for discussion and networking about permaculture education and demonstration centers, because this is what we are currently developing in Ukraine. So we are interested about your experience. We would like to share our experience, to get your suggestions. So so basically, if you want to invite foreign people, translation is one thing, and another maybe to have a separate room about some discussion of some common topics, like for example this permaculture network or diploma education or whatever. So if for example this discussion about the network, if it could repeat at different convergences, that also might be great. So okay, so basically that's it what I have on my list. If you want to add some other direction, you can also add this. Or Ala, if there are any questions from online. Then what I propose, because of course this is a lot of everything, a lot of different directions. So I propose that we should select one or two directions which are most important and which we start cooperating like right now, the next.
Like in groups or together?
Don't you want to do this also?
Yeah, so maybe first we make like a circle, just everyone, without like long explanation, you just say that I think that the most important is 1 or 3.
We can do marks.
Yeah, we just put the marks.
Maybe every person can put, I don't know, 3 points, and you can
Yeah.
put 3 points on one, or you can divide them.
Yeah,
like
something
this.
like this. Okay, so then
Let's go.
yeah, just tell me which points will come here and put your points.
What is the question? What should we if we personally find it
The most-
reasonable, or if we personally have any opportunity to support this
Yeah. To
direction?
contribute to this.
No, but
Because this is
Yes,
two
it's
different things.
very different.
In general, I find that everything is great.
yeah, of course.
That's not probably just what is realistic. Or
Yeah, what is realistic and what is the most important? So we need now to narrow a little bit. So of course, like I'm very fond of dragon dreaming, and in dragon dreaming we always say that connected, and even if you select some direction, the rest will come with that. So this was kind of, let's say, dreaming, and it's important to keep this in mind, but to concentrate on the most important things. So just comment, Mark. What do you think the most important?
How long will you start?
No, I think that it just will come with the Mark.
It's for this
Demonstration size.
demonstration sites.
Same code. This is my choice.
I agree with you.
So just so this
another color.
yeah. Oh, we can use the same. Just calculate the number of dots.
Three, 2, and 1, yeah?
No, you just put 3 dots. So you give all 3 dots to that, yes?
I thought 3,
No,
2, and
three.
No, it's not.
Okay,
So-
so
I think your dots are in the other day or not?
I and Ben's,
Yes.
okay, so
yeah, you just cross it. Okay.
You have special feminist dot.
yeah,
To distinguish.
I have special Lipa dots.
together but different.
Yes.
See that. This is and I had only 2.
Yeah.
But networking can also concern students. Maybe you have already 4 or 5 dots. Wait, you have 3 only.
Yes, I'm interested.
And everything,
Oh.
okay. So it really helps.
It has no distinguishing value when. So whatever.
Paula, would you like me to put the notes for you?
Even would you like
No, Ben already put. I have put.
Maybe.
No, I already put for Ben. Yeah.
Exchange of information, book translations into mother languages.
Translation.
Translation is given.
Translation is one. Precisely. Okay. Which else?
What was it?
Seedlings, funding, volunteering, meetings, networking.
Meetings, conferences, gatherings, something.
This one is.
Network.
Yes.
A network of sites. Because it's network.
But it was widened. Seed banks are.
Okay, so winners are network of.
This is so I changed my mind. Seedlings. One dot for seedlings.
So the winner is network of sites, and then we have 4 dots for meetings and 4 dots for seed bank. So basically now we have just 30 minutes left. I don't know if we should divide or just work together on these directions. What do you think? Yeah, the time is already short. Okay, so this networks. So what will we add here? So I yesterday I told that
Sit down. Please.
sit down. Okay. So I consider that it's important before starting to do anything to find a volunteer who would this kind of exchange of information.
Isn't it better to think first what you want to network? Like
Okay.
what kind of places you want to network?
Like vision, mission, aim.
Exactly. What kind of
Okay.
places exactly you want to connect?
So vision, yes. Let's start with vision. Yes.
Is it a wild one? The places that are inspired by permaculture, or
Mhm.
they are more that specifically work on this field, or that earn by
Mhm.
doing
Mhm.
permaculture, or
So yesterday we actually had the whole discussion about this. So we concluded that first, of course, it's those who accept people in English or in at least in several languages. And second, it's kind of the best project. So because it was some feedback about quality of projects.
That each country has different rules, different editions of this network, and the country chooses the most accessible projects for foreigners, maybe.
So shall I?
Most interesting.
Shall I write it?
Maybe.
So each network evaluate projects, yes?
In our university, we have the Department of International Relations, and if it needs, they can give us translators.
So yes, so we can maybe now think about how to do it. So we need probably another website and translator and coordinator.
Another, or we can use maybe this existing, which is now called Visegrad Permaculture, Visegrad farming, like.
Actually, Josef offered it. As a volunteer in Slovakia, I'm afraid.
And then volunteer. Okay, so
No, I have an idea. I can ask Ruska. It was this young woman who helped us with translations. She's very much interested in this, so I think she could be maybe, and she covered this Joseph already. So if she's a coordinator, then we can continue.
Zuzka? I don't know.
Zuzka Špaková. Špaková.
So the verification of the grades happens on the country level.
Yeah, I think so. Yes. In the country level, then they give then we create, put them on the website, and there was yesterday suggestion from Ben that we could use Polish website, yes, or the center, so we could just add it there if it is appropriate and volunteer for that. So basically that's more or less okay, and this would already work. Maybe we could also think about the tours between the farms, like we organize it now, so maybe we could organize more tours, either commercial or...
There are plenty of very good quality workshops in Poland concerning local food production. Like how to make cheese, how to manure is being small
So my idea was that it would be, so of course, it's require a lot of logistics to, let's say, from Ukraine to go to workshop on cheese making. So it would be more sense if there would be the whole tour on about this topics. So then, no sense. Okay, so this is basically like a small model which we could develop further. We want to add something or move to the next topic.
Well, if we really go into this Erasmus grant to this topic, then we can help hugely with developing this network, and also include other countries, of course.
So grant for okay, for developing. It's actually I wanted to say it's not developing. It's maybe sometimes it's even initiating this network.
Yes, but best way how to do it, just initiate.
Because for initiating, it's easier to get grants.
Yes.
And this could be Erasmus. Okay, anything else with that model? Then let's just move to volunteering and internship. So basically, this sharing information. So I guess that what we already told, that maybe the best way would be to have a Facebook, like a Facebook group, which where each coordinator posts the information about these opportunities. Yes.
You will set this Facebook group.
Here I would prefer something. But okay. The group itself, I can Pavlo will do. Okay.
Distinct Facebook page, so maybe
it's not. If you are talking about this permaculture for farms, so it is not the page. It is an event.
Yes. So
it is an event. Yes. So it's a group or page. Page. Yeah, and I wrote that I will do this.
Actually, on our website we have an English part, but it's my it's my task to care of it better and to really put there everything new which is accessible to foreigners, and then it could appear on this.
Yes. So basically, I think that I can create myself. It's easy, but we maybe need some volunteers and coordinators who translate and put the information in English there. So I write. Yeah, so I think that then basically it repeats the same that volunteering we have here. So basically that's it, I guess. And about these conferences, so maybe we can now decide which conference or which conference would be like we want to organize next. Do we want to continue on farming? Or
I don't, because actually we have in November Czech conference on the same topic, so for us it's too much. And I would like a conference about this numerical demonstrations. I think it again depends on Erasmus funding.
This is actually a very great idea.
Did you think about visiting Polish farms as well?
I think that we wrote it somewhere. So I wrote here tours, different countries. What we realized with this tour, you really need to be distance-wise. We had an idea to visit some farms around Prague, and then we realized that it is too far to go from Ukraine to Prague and back. So it's if we organize maybe in Poland, it should be maybe like Poland and northern Slovakia and some western Czechia or something like that. Yes, the course is here. And then let's move back to this conference of network of democide. So do we want it to organize only between our countries, or do we want it to organize on the whole European level?
Essentially, based on my experience with this event, I must say that I can't organize any like originally we wanted to have in Prague, so I am the only person who did all the work, and it was simply too much. So I also spoke with Dasha, with my co-worker, about it, and she also told me that she would like to cooperate on this, but only with Erasmus support, because there are so many coordinators. So only with support of funding. Yes.
With Erasmus, there is also such option that the non-EU members can participate because the fundings are just sufficient. One can just have a separate collect fundings and from what is prepared for.
Yeah, I know that Ukraine can participate. Yeah. The only thing that, for example, in this project, Ukraine is the main body which receives the money and deal with all these papers and reporting. For Erasmus, the partner should be from Europe.
Sure, we are even now encouraged to be the main partners, maybe, or British, maybe, because they also promised us that next year they can be main partners.
The support we cannot be not applying because it's not our issue, but I have many long years experiences. I wrote also in collaboration with different organizations from Germany.
Yeah,
we launched the Erasmus project, so we do it practically as ping-pong. They write, I just write something. So and final coordinator sends the proposal. So I offer myself for such a work and my 8-long experience with this group together as well. So
how could we name it? It's like help with facilitation or how to say?
So I can participate in an international group developing the content of the project and writing the proposal for.
Writing proposal, yes.
No, writing the proposal.
Yes, this is very great, yes.
But not as a coordinator, as a
Yeah,
participant. Just partner.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that we are running, the time is finished now. So I just would like to conclude from with this project that I would really like that there will be a coordinator from each country who have a capacity to do the work, because now basically the coordinators maybe except Poland, it's like the heads of organization, and the situation is, the reality is that the leaders of organization, they have a lot of other job to do. So maybe I mean, there's a coordination, we need someone about.
So they said a lot about the instrument, we don't have anybody that volunteering.
So coordinators.
What are the tasks of coordinators for now? What do you think about this internet?
I'm talking about everything, but especially if we apply for grants, because it is a lot of work, and we organize it like more than 15 meetings, and it's a lot of work to participate in these meetings, to contact farmers, to book hotels, to do a lot of different various work, translation and everything. And like for me, it was I would say it was a full-time work starting from March. I just could not do anything else. So that is the reason why I could not develop this course for Ukrainian university, because I was fully engaged with this Visegrad.
So Lupa, don't you want to do some volunteer work? You are so enthusiastic. I am very enthusiastic, but I have a job in Visegrad National University. I have 4 children. I have dissertation with which I have done experimental part of my dissertation work, and I should like to do the paper and publish them. And because of that, I have a lot of work. I must see not only my children, but my old mother.
Yeah, of course, I know. I just need to say goodbye because I need to go to other room and